Welcome to another video. It has definitely been a while since I've spoken about FIFA 21. I was sort of hoping that EA would patch some of the issues before I made another video criticizing FIFA 21, but nothing has been done, so since we're in 2021 now, it's probably a good time to address some more of the issues that continue to break the FIFA 21 gameplay, and that still haven't been fixed. By all accounts, it doesn't seem to me like EA will be trying to patch any of these issues anytime soon anyway. Maybe they're working very hard on making sure that FIFA 22 is the best football game they ever made, or maybe they just don't care that much. In any case, let's revisit the Goalkeepers. It's a good place to start. They most definitely continue to be broken or bugged, and the near post bug is still very much alive and present in the game. One thing I did try was to adjust the sliders all the way to 100 for the keepers, but it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. This is a real shame. With bugged keepers, the experience is well and truly broken. In my opinion, this is possibly one of the most significant bugs that require the utmost priority for a fix, as it makes the game unplayable. Defending continues to feel rather clunky, and when compared to the other areas of the game, it mostly feels underdeveloped, almost like it is intended to be rather difficult to master and control, so that things like, I don't know, scripting and dynamic difficulty adjustment, DDA, can be effectively used by the AI whenever required. This is of course complete speculation on my part, I want to make that clear. I'm merely offering what can be called an opinion as to what could be implemented here that makes defending in FIFA 21 so difficult, especially when your own CPU controlled players don't seem to have a clue and have such a hard time in terms of being an effective help in defense. In terms of the midfield, unfortunately also does still feel rather useless, as players don't help with defending and mostly have a very difficult time getting back behind the ball. It really doesn't matter if you play with two central defensive midfielders like N'Golo Kante, who is very much a box-to-box and works very hard both attacking and defending, or Jorginho, who tends to be much less of a worker and more the brains of the operation. It really doesn't matter, as both will literally play very much alike and the same, and neither will help defending the majority of the time. Obviously, the rest of the midfield, like the central midfielders or the central attacking midfielders, are even worse, as they just never really defend anyway. Attacking wise, in FIFA 21, it's kind of like Christmas. Everyone loves it, especially those that are addicted to it. And it always works exactly as intended. Everyone and everything works beautifully when it comes to attack. Strikers rarely miss, wingers make excellent runs in behind, and always ensure that they stop if they're about to run offside. They basically time their runs really well. Central attacking midfielders offer great support and also make excellent runs behind defenders. It's like a great symphony and everyone is in sync. Scoring goals has never been so easy. There are also other aspects that I've never really talked about that I'd like to address as well. The biggest one possibly being the through balls. I can definitely understand that the coding must be very difficult to create perfectly balanced through balls in any football game. However, in FIFA 21, you can simply spam through balls all game long, and with this method, you're basically guaranteed a good amount of goals per game, especially when you play at a lower difficulty against the AI, or if you're playing against a lower skilled opponent. When this is combined with problems like bugged goalkeepers and impossible to control defending and midfielders that don't help defense and incredibly precise attacking, well, it's an addition to an already huge problem, and at the end of the day, through balls most definitely cannot be this overpowered. It enhances the already unrealistic experience that you get out of FIFA 21. Of course, there are other problems that don't go as deep as the through balls, but are still significant enough to impact the game negatively when it comes to a realistic and meaningful experience. I am of course specifically talking about the dribbling and the trickery that's so deeply embedded into all these FIFA titles, but has now in FIFA 21 culminated in making it almost impossible to steal the ball from your opponent. It's so utterly unrealistic. When it comes to skill, there are players that might have the equivalent of 5-star skills in where they are talented enough to juggle the ball in amazing ways and do all these tricks. But they might not be all that great when it comes to dribbling an opponent in real time during a match. Now, on the flip side, there are players that aren't great at juggling the ball and doing all these tricks, but are phenomenal dribblers. Cristiano Ronaldo is a great example. Yes, I know he can do some tricks and stuff, but mostly he uses his incredible reflex speed and his strength to dribble past players. We can also give Messi as an example. You don't really see Messi doing fancy trickery or juggling the ball. Instead, he uses the simplest of dribbles by making the very most out of his balance, feet speed, and incredible precision. You've also then got players like Robinho and Neymar who are great at both trickery and dribbling. But in FIFA, all these players are lumped together into the same exact category when it comes to skill, tricks, and dribbling. They all have 5-star skill moves, and so the AI programming treats them all the very same and lets them do all the same tricks and play the same way. Again, this is very much unrealistic. EA absolutely need to outright remove, or at the very least adjust, this feature in the game, and instead of focusing on tricks and ball juggling, they need to focus on simple, timely, and precise dribbling. And I hate to say it, but more like PES, who of course have adopted, as far as skill goes, a more simplistic and effective method for dribbling, as opposed to creating this odd and strange depiction of how football works in an unrealistic and almost circus-like arcade game that only looks like football, which is what EA have done with FIFA. Anyway, this has been a very long rant, so I apologize to all of you that have lasted this long into the video. Do drop your comments below. I appreciate you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.